Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bible study. Today we are going to study about Jesus and the miraculous catch of fish. We are in John 21. This is the last chapter in John. So let's dive in. John 21 from 1 to 14. Jesus and the miraculous catch of fish. Afterward, Jesus appeared again to his disciples by the Sea of Galilee. So Jesus died and he was resurrected, and he appeared in so many places and showed himself to his disciples. And it happened this way. Simon Peter, Thomas, also known as Didymus, Nathanael from Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and two other disciples were together. Verse 3, I'm going out to fish. Simon Peter told them, and they said, We'll go with you. So they went out and got into the boat, but that night they caught nothing. So after Jesus was resurrected, and they were on their own. So these were Jesus' disciples plus other ones, and they were kind of lost. They didn't know what to do. And Peter knew how to fish, so he went back to his business. Remember when Jesus found Peter? He found him fishing. He got into his boat and he told to get the boat a little bit further, and then Peter say, Lord, we were a whole night long, fishing, but caught nothing. But because you say so, I'll do it just for you. Even Jesus say, put your nets in. Peter put just one, just to, to be obedient in one way. And they caught lots of fish. There where Jesus met him, and Peter said, like, go away because I'm a sinner. And Peter left everything. He left his business, his family, everything, and followed Jesus. Now, after Jesus died and got resurrected, they saw Jesus here and there. He went back to the business that he had before he met Jesus. And it's not what Jesus had for him. When first you follow, you are following Jesus for so long. I said 3 years, about 3 years, every day. And you're a disciple. At one point you have to turn an apostle, but he didn't have that revelation. He was traumatized for what he did in the past and denied Jesus 3 times. And the enemy had him in the corner there. He didn't know what else to do with his life. And there he is. And again, his business will not bloom, because he's missing a piece in there. Let's go. One more. Verse 4. Early in the morning, Jesus stood on the shore, but the disciple did not realize that it was Jesus. For some reason, his disciples, even he showed himself in different places, Jesus was not recognized. He would be, like just like he stood on the shore, like when they were like fishing all night, they got nothing, and Jesus is waiting. Jesus knew what happened, knew where they are, and knew they didn't get anything. So this is the second time the encounter with Jesus when the business doesn't go nowhere. Business of catching fish. They will sell the fish and make big money. Verse 5, he called out to them, friends, haven't you any fish? No, they answered. He said, throw your net on the right side of the boat and you will find some. When they did, they were unable to haul the net in because of the large number of fish. This is the second time. He does give them, bring the fish into the net, bring in the business to flourish. But even though Jesus wanted Peter to do something else, and even for all his disciples. Verse 7, then the disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, which was John. He didn't even say like, me, John, I was loved by Jesus. He puts it this way because John writes this part. Then the disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, which was John, it is the Lord. As soon as Simon Peter had no clue who this person was, he didn't even came to his mind. As soon as Simon Peter heard him say, it is the Lord, he wrapped his outer garment around him, for he had taken it off and jumped into the water. So Peter, even the garments that he had, also the garment of honor, the garment that, it's more like he took it off. Everything what he had, he took it off, the garment, the main one. And when he put it on, he is pretty much acknowledged that he can't face Jesus without the garments. Those garments and then putting them on has a more signification than we are thinking about. It has, so for example, when you go to church, you're not going to go like dress up, like people, they go to the bar, or you gotta wear nice garments, be washed and be clean. You present yourself to the Lord as nice, have something nice on you. And it's the same with Peter. He doesn't want the Lord to see him all a mess. He puts the garment on. It also represents that from where he was, that he took it off and he followed the business, the world. He put the real garment on it, just saying that I'm transferring from what I was to something more. And it has to do with the garments. We studied that in Elijah and Elisha. So he put it on there, even though instead of, you're taking off if you want to jump in the water, but he put it on. Okay, so it has two significations there. He put it on like, because he didn't want to be seen by the Lord just all over the place. He wanted to look decent. And second, that he's acknowledging that I took it off, but not anymore. I'm putting it on. This is like a mantle. I'm going to serve the Lord with all the might. And he is from disciples, he goes into apostle. The other disciples follow in the boats. We have in verse 8, towing the net full of fish, for they were not far from shore, about 100 yards. When they landed, they saw a fire of burning coals there with fish on it and some bread. Would you like that Jesus will wait on you with fish and bread, with food every day, just like that. Have your breakfast. They go over the night and fish, and in the morning, God says they caught nothing. And Jesus saw this frustration. And sometimes it's in purpose, like you went back to where I got you out from to follow me, and you went back there. And he didn't want his disciples to be lost. So Jesus has and teaching them a little bit, talking to them. So this is like Peter, it's getting to the land. Verse 10, Jesus said to them, bring some of the fish you have just caught. This also has some signification, I will say, because it's not just to say, wouldn't be like Jesus will have so much fish there. I know, just show on the picture just three, and three fish and two loaves of bread. He will have filled up. Everything belongs to Jesus, right? He will have like as many as he wanted. He could have 100 or as many, and make a big fire, like a longer, and put the fish on it. But Jesus told them, bring some, not all, some of the fish you have just caught. That is actually trigger, like a remind, it comes in my mind that is teaching us sowing, Yes, Jesus had for us. It was, had food for us. But he wants us to bring that he could bless ours, even though, just say we had nothing. By miracles of God, our business starts working and blooming. Do not forget to bring some as a seed. Because think about, if you put everything in the business and you don't put for the seed, let's put it this way, probably it's maybe hard to understand. The one who puts, who gets the grains and sells and have a profit, and that's all right. They always have a part of it that hold it to put those seeds in the ground for next year or maybe in the same year. So you don't just keep everything for yourself. You have that part to put in the ground. It's the same in here. Jesus is teaching them, bring some that you caught, that he could bless, that would be a blessing for, next step in their life, they'll be always blessed. Jesus is teaching them something. And I had a time when I was communicating, but I was in 3 years ago, 1995. I was communicating with the family, and they had children after children every year. So they ended up having 7 children at one point. And they were like one after another. And they will try to move from the area where they were. They tried to move to a different, better area because the children got asthma, the bricks were wet, they had a flood 3 times or more, and they were struggling. So God was telling me to help them. But first I wasn't working. I just started school, and I came just 1 year before with nothing really. So I rely on my husband, who's after years he passed. but I rely on him, with the money, everything else. And he was greedy. She will look even for 1 cent if he had to give away. So it was hard to go to his heart and tell that, look, we have to help this family. And I told God, I have nothing. Everything belongs to to this man I married. I have nothing in my own. And God still wanted me to give. He wanted me to go to his heart, um, and ask, and we decided like $50, but $50 that time was a lot, like 30 years ago. $50, you could fill the whole cart with food. It had value. $50 had value back then. And God told me exactly what He told his disciples: bring what you have. If that's all what you have, bring it to me. And I did, and they were able to move away, and their problem was solved. And I don't know, I felt like rejoicing in my heart. God always wants us to bring something that he could bless, and something that we can put back in the circulation that would do bless. And it's our seed. All right, let's go verse 11. So Simon Peter climbed back into the boat and dragged the net ashore. It was full of large fish, 153, but even with so many, the net was not torn. Wow. Because Jesus was holding it. 153 big fish. 153, imagine. It was a lot. And I'm pretty sure they make a good business because of Jesus that day. But I got some to put on the grill there and for them to eat. And Jesus said to them, come and have breakfast. It's like after a whole night, just say like you work for the night, or maybe you work for the day. After a whole day you worked, maybe for your business, I'm just saying like in general, and you got nothing. Jesus helps you, and miraculously you have a large amount of money comes in your business. And Jesus wants you to just settle down for a minute and eat and socialize with him, have breakfast, and just talk to him. He wants you to sit down, not to worry about anything. Everything is good now. Everything is under control. Wants you to have food, socialize with Jesus. None of the disciples there asked him, who are you? They knew it was the Lord. They didn't recognize who he was. Interesting that they worked with 3 years with Jesus, and as an earthly man, because he was like on earth with our like body like us, when he came and showed to so many didn't recognize him. And then the part that they didn't want to ask, who are you? They knew was Jesus. Nobody could make these miracles except Jesus. Now, verse 13, Jesus came, took the bread and gave it to them, and did the same with the fish. So remember that it was a miracle with the fish and bread. When Jesus blessed all of the food, and everybody ate like 5,000 people from that much, and had baskets over, like left over. This was now the third time Jesus appeared to his disciples after he was raised from the dead. So he showed 3 times in different locations to his disciples. and they want to teach them something, that you came from this business, I got you out, you follow me, I discipled you, now you have to become an apostle. And it's a transfers of, it's pretty much from the servant, like I did teaching before this, from the servant to become a master, to lead everybody else in the right way, is a transfers of a mantle, I would say, a transfers of teaching, a transfers of everything. And they needed this meeting with Jesus right here, right now. It had to be done. He brought bread. And what was the bread is significant. The bread is the flesh of Jesus that died for us. So he brings and breaks the bread and bless it. Imagine that. Woo! I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. Wow. Look at that fish. It was much, the fish that they got, they were much bigger than those. To be continued, because we have next phase when Jesus talks to Peter. I hope you enjoy this as much as I enjoy it. Till next time, I say goodbye. Goodbye now.